I have indeed, actually, Andrew. Not just prospective parliamentary candidates, but parliamentary candidates. They've now been selected for their seats. These are the guys who are going to actually have to pound the pavement and sell Lib Dem policy to the people and try and get their votes. Ed, this week, I don't know, but there haven't been as many people around. I haven't felt like this is a conference for people who are about to set off on a general election.
Well, I think that's what today's all about. Hopefully Nick will sort of set alight the Lib Dem enthusiasm. I don't think it feels like we're in a general election period yet. We know it's going to be at some point before next June, but there is a sense of, come on Gordon, call it.
But it's certainly going to be the last one before a general election. We do know that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's what I think Nick's going to do. He's going to set the race and he's going to say, actually, we're on the line, we're ready to go, and we've got some decent policies and we're going to roll them out and see where it goes.
You know what those policies are? You're clear with those policies? We feel a little confused about them, and you're going for a London seat. Hampstead, is it?
Yeah.
Plenty of people with £1 million homes there who aren't going to like you.
There are lots of people in Hampstead who've got a good sense of responsibility, want society to work, and in that sense I'm not worried at all. The Liberal Democrat message is a strong one. Nick's going to articulate today.
Katie, with a Y, because you've been pointing that out to me, you're going to be looking for him to do what today? What do you want from him?
Well, I want him to inspire me. The first time I ever heard him speak, he really was the most inspiring speech I'd ever heard, and I hope he'll do that again today. I want him to set us off on the path to the general election.
Which suggests that so far this week you haven't felt set off, that you haven't felt fired up.
No, I think the fact is this is serious times. We've got a lot of straight talking to do, and we're good at that. It's a grown-up debate, and that's what you expect in Liberal Democrats. Actual debate, but we are united.
All right, some straight talking. So I answer the door to you, and I say I don't want. I don't like this idea. You might scrap tuition fees. What is your position? What is your position?
Well, I'm standing in Glasgow North, and in Scotland we've already got rid of tuition fees because that was Liberal Democrats got rid of them. So I'm very pleased about that. I do understand that it costs more.
What do you say if it was Ed's in London then? Quite right too. That is the same in Scotland. What do you say if it's Ed's seat?
I think the thing is we are retaining the policy. The difficulty is we are in a severe economic crisis, and you've got to think about the affordability, and that's what we're good at, straight talking about the real choices.
Does Nick have to clarify that you are retaining the policy? Does he actually have to clarify what the position is?
He already has clarified it. That is our policy. It's just a question of timing.
You are standing, Dawn, against David Cameron.
That's right.
Daunting?
It is maybe a little daunting. He's one of the most well-known politicians of the moment. People recognise him, and many people think he'll be the next Prime Minister. But maybe he won't be.
You're feeling very confident, are you?
Well, he shouldn't think it's a safe seat necessarily. We know the Conservatives and Labour think they've got the right to rule, and it's about time that changed.
What about if I come to you and I say, look, I live in £1 million house, but I'm a pensioner. I have a fixed income. Why are you hitting me?
Well, if you're on a pension and you don't have that much money, there are already things in place where you get help with your council tax, so that would still remain in place. But ultimately, if you've got a house that is over £1 million, then you probably do have more money than other people.
Do you know where I'm coming from with this? There's been an element of confusion today. Do you feel that you're across everything you need to be across? Is he going to have to do something today just to put a little bit of, I know exactly where we're going?
I don't think he has to, no. I know where we're going. I'm pretty sure about it all, and the manifesto will come out soon.
So we can go home then?
No, I want to go in and hear Nick speak, definitely.
What do you want from him then, if it's not to...
It's just the final go, go, go.
Let's see if you get the go, go, go. We'll catch up with that a little bit later on. We may well join you a little bit later on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please will you welcome the leader of the Liberal Democrats, Nick Clegg.
In the last 8 weeks, 28 British soldiers and Royal Marines have been killed in Afghanistan. Now, however easy it may be to forget, we are a nation at war. Already more than 75,000 British men and women have done tours of duty in Afghanistan. Thousands upon thousands of our compatriots, putting their lives on the line in the burning heat of the frozen winters, of a country on the other side of the world.
Well, Andrew, you were just asking there, have you gone away feeling all bounced up? Was that what you were looking for, all of you?
That was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Strong on Afghanistan, serious about power, good for young people. I loved it, I loved it.
What did you say? Your hands were hurting?
My hands were hurting, I was clapping so hard.
And you weren't even there for the ovations. All right, then let me ask you something, because we've mentioned it already. This is a man who tells you, the people who are going to be his MPs if you win, that I'm not shying away from difficult issues. If I was the young person he has promised in that speech to support, he is saying nothing about that tuition fees. He said he was never going to let us down, but he said nothing about tuition fees. Why did he mention it in the first place?
It starts with early years. It's the first years of education that matters. The pledge to tuition fees remains, absolutely and clearly, but the issue is early years education. That's where the difference counts.
Why didn't he just say, look, I talked about it, this is our position? Why didn't he just make it clear for those people who aren't you, but are Lib Dem supporters or potential Lib Dem supporters?
There's no problem at all with saying you can make a difference at primary. It changes everything. Only half the population at school age go to university. Everybody goes through primary education. That's the commitment.
I think it looks a little, and it may be the modern age of television, a man who's been coached in how to stand and move and moving fluidly. You said you quite like the actory thing.
No, he makes me feel really proud, because he stirs you up. And towards the end, when he was really showing how it's the Liberal Democrats that can actually make the change happen, I almost choked up. I thought that was fantastic. I don't think that's acting. I think he's genuine, unlike the fakery of David Cameron.
And if it makes you feel like that, then actually, so what? That's fine. If it makes you feel fired up.
I think the fact is, the more people get to know Nick Clegg, the more they realise that he is a genuinely serious and straight-talking guy.
Do you think that's happened over the last few years? Is that, if that's the one going into an election, that's the one you wanted?
That's the winner I need.
That was the one you wanted. Thank you very much indeed. That's the view from those who may well, if they win, become Lib Dem MPs. They seem very happy, but then they would, wouldn't they?